In the early morning light, Karen Thompson stood in her front yard, hands on her hips, glaring at the ominous letter clutched in her palm. It was the third cease and desist notice she had received in as many weeks from the now infamous Homeowners Association. Remove those invasive weeds, it insisted, referring to her cherished wildflowers that had turned her yard into a colorful tapestry of yellows, blues, and purples. Asterisk, asterisk Karen loved those flowers, asterisk, asterisk. Each bloom a touchstone of her defiance against a neighborhood culture she had long deemed stifling. Are you kidding me? She muttered under her breath, her irritation sparking a fierce determination. With every notice, Karen felt more resolved to fight back. To her neighbors, she was merely the woman with a garden full of nuisance plants. But to her, these wildflowers were part of an eco-project she had been quietly nurturing, one that brought bees and butterflies back to a landscape dominated by rigid lawns. Asterisk, asterisk, her first target was the HOA board meeting asterisk, asterisk, where the air was thick with tension and the aroma of stale coffee. Armed with data and a vivid presentation, she made her way to the designated meeting room at the community center. The room buzzed with whispers as she entered, eyes shifting from her to the long table of HOA board members. They were a daunting group, stoic and serious, ready to enforce the rules she felt were suffocating her passion. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, her voice steady despite the fluttering adrenaline in her stomach. I'm here to discuss my wildflowers and the ecological impact they have on our community. A few eyes rolled. A couple of board sighs echoed amidst the anticipation of her defense. Before she could gather her next thought, Charlie, the HOA president, interrupted with a dismissive wave. We appreciate your enthusiasm, Karen, but we can't have your flowers ruining our property values. They're classified as weeds, and weeds must go. Asterisk, asterisk, a surge of anger flared in her asterisk, asterisk, but instead of retreating, Karen leaned in. You all think they're weeds, but what if I told you they were part of a government eco-project aimed at restoring local wildlife? She paused, allowing her words to hang in the air, watching the tension shift slightly. A murmur of curiosity rippled through the audience. Could it be that this passionate homeowner was more than just a troublemaker? The challenge of that moment laid the groundwork for a confrontation that would ripple through the neighborhood in surprising ways. The room fell silent, the air thick with disbelief. Karen felt a spark of hope. Perhaps she hadn't just ruffled feathers, but ignited curiosity. Charlie raised an eyebrow, leaning forward. A government project? Explain. With renewed vigor, Karen presented her findings, detailing how native wildflowers supported local bee populations, crucial for pollination. Also, funding for this project is from the state, aimed at revitalizing our ecosystem. Asterisk, these flowers are not only beneficial, but essential asterisk. She could see the wheels turning in some of the members' minds, but still, skepticism lingered. That's great, Karen. A board member named Martha replied coolly, but we can't ignore the aesthetic guidelines we all signed. Are you suggesting we change all the rules for your little garden project? For a moment, Karen faltered. The familiar restraints of the HOA loomed large like a storm cloud overhead. But she was not ready to back down. I'm suggesting we rethink how we define beauty, she shot back. What if we embrace biodiversity? Create a standard that encourages, rather than stifles, nature. The challenge hung in the air, adding tension to the atmosphere. As the meeting continued, she could sense divisions forming. Some members seemed intrigued, while others clung to the rules with desperate gusto. A few even whispered among themselves, considering the advantages of embracing ecological practices versus the rigid adherence to traditional aesthetics. Let's put it to a vote. You have 1 month to provide evidence of this so-called government project before we take further action, Charlie finally declared, cutting through the emerging tension. It was a small concession, brush off or a subtle acknowledgement of her efforts, she couldn't tell, but it was enough to fuel her tenacity. As she exited the building, the weight of uncertainty still clung to her like a shadow. Would her neighbors believe her? Would she get the needed support to challenge the smothering rules? But more importantly, would she be able to keep her beloved wildflowers? That night, she sat at her kitchen table, scrolling through her emails, determined to find any contact information for the government initiative. She needed to gather proof and support fast. Time was ticking away, and the HOA wouldn't wait for her to collect the evidence she desperately needed. As the clock ticked on, a plan began to form in her mind, fueled by her desire to protect the beauty she'd nurtured in the garden. A front-yard fight, it seemed, was just beginning. Over the next few days, Karen was a whirlwind of activity, contacting local authorities, environmental groups, and anyone who could help validate her claims about the government eco-project. She scoured the internet, making call after call, determined to find the proof she needed before the HOA's 1-month deadline. Finally, a breakthrough came in the form of an email from the state's Department of Natural Resources. They were excited to learn about her wildflower garden and eager to lend their support. "We've been trying to get more homeowners involved in our urban rewilding initiative," the message read. "We'd be happy to provide the documentation you need to present to your HOA." Karen's heart soared with relief and determination. She now had the ammunition she needed to fight back against the HOA's demands. No more would she be dismissed as the eccentric neighbor with an unruly garden. She was part of an important government program, and her flowers were essential to the local ecosystem. Armed with the official paperwork, Karen marched back into the HOA meeting, feeling a new sense of confidence. As she presented the evidence, the board members sat in stunned silence. A few even had the decency to look sheepish, realizing they had nearly ordered the removal of a state-sponsored project. "Well, I must say, this is unexpected," Charlie stammered, his brow furrowed as he reviewed the documents. "If what you're telling us is true, then we'll need to reconsider our stance on your wildflowers." Karen couldn't help but feel a sense of triumph. She had stood her ground, challenged the status quo, and emerged victorious. It was a small but significant win, not just for her, but for the entire neighborhood. As the meeting adjourned, Karen caught the eye of a few fellow residents. Some offered hesitant smiles, while others still regarded her with skepticism. But she knew that her persistence had planted a seed of change. Perhaps her neighbors would begin to see the value in embracing a more diverse and sustainable landscape. With a spring in her step, Karen returned home, her vibrant garden waiting for her. She admired the way the flowers danced in the breeze, their petals a testament to the power of one person's determination. This was just the beginning of a transformation, not only for her yard, but for the entire community. The next few weeks saw a flurry of activity in the neighborhood as the HOA grappled with how to respond to Karen's wildflower project. At first, there was a mix of confusion, skepticism, and even outright resistance from some of the more traditional-minded residents. But as Karen continued to share information and engage with her neighbors, a gradual shift began to take place. Karen organized a community meeting inviting representatives from the state's Department of Natural Resources to come and present the details of the urban rewilding initiative. The turnout was impressive, with nearly half the neighborhood in attendance. As the experts laid out the scientific evidence and the long-term benefits of supporting local biodiversity, many of the attendees found themselves reconsidering their preconceptions. "I had no idea these flowers were so important," one neighbor, Sarah, admitted sheepishly. "I just assumed they were weeds that would lower our property values." She turned to Karen, offering a tentative smile. "I'm sorry I signed that petition to have them removed." Karen nodded graciously, understanding the power of entrenched beliefs. "I'm just glad we have the chance to learn and grow together as a community," she replied, her words laced with a quiet optimism. Over the following weeks, the HOA board held several heated discussions, weighing the merits of the state's eco-project against their established aesthetic guidelines. It was a delicate balancing act as they grappled with the need to maintain neighborhood standards while also embracing a more environmentally conscious approach. Finally, after much deliberation, the HOA announced a compromise. They would allow Karen's wildflowers to remain, but with the stipulation that she maintain them in a tidy, well-groomed manner. Additionally, the board agreed to explore the possibility of designating certain eco-zones within the community, where residents could cultivate native plants without fear of reprisal. As the news spread through the neighborhood, Karen couldn't help but feel a sense of cautious triumph. She had proven that with determination and a willingness to engage, even the most entrenched systems could be challenged and changed. It was a small victory, to be sure, but one that held the promise of a more vibrant, sustainable future for her community. In the weeks that followed, Karen's wildflower garden became a source of intrigue and inspiration for her neighbors. Where once there had been dismissive glances and disapproving murmurs, now there were curious onlookers and tentative questions. "I've never seen so many butterflies in my yard before," one neighbor remarked, watching in fascination as the colorful insects flitted from bloom to bloom. "And the bees, they seem so much happier here than on my boring old lawn." Karen beamed with pride, relishing the opportunity to educate her community. She eagerly shared information about the importance of native plants, the decline of pollinator populations, and the simple steps everyone could take to make their yards more eco-friendly. As word of the HOA's compromise spread, other residents began to follow suit. Slowly but surely, more and more front yards in the neighborhood began to transform, with vibrant gardens of wildflowers, prairie grasses, and other native species replacing the traditional monoculture of manicured grass. "It's like a whole new world has opened up," another neighbor, Lisa, remarked during one of the community meetings. "I never realized how dull and lifeless my lawn was until I saw what Karen has done." The HOA board, initially skeptical of the changes, now found themselves embracing the shift. They recognized the growing enthusiasm among the residents and saw an opportunity to position the community as a leader in sustainable landscaping practices. We're going to be rolling out new guidelines that encourage native plantings and eco-friendly practices. Charlie announced at the next meeting, to a round of enthusiastic applause. "We want to show that you can have both aesthetic appeal and environmental responsibility." Karen couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. Her tireless efforts had not only saved her own garden, but it also inspired a broader transformation within the community. What had once been a contentious battle was now a shared vision for a more vibrant, sustainable future. As she tended to her flowers, watching the bees and butterflies dance among the petals, Karen knew that her small act of defiance had planted the seeds of change. The neighborhood would never be the same, and she couldn't wait to see what other wonders would bloom in the years to come. With the HOA's newfound embrace of eco-friendly practices, the neighborhood began to undergo a remarkable transformation. Residents eagerly traded their manicured lawns for vibrant gardens filled with native plants, creating a patchwork of color and biodiversity that caught the attention of the larger community. Karen, now something of a local celebrity, found herself in high demand. Neighbors sought her advice on plant selection, garden design, and the benefits of supporting local wildlife. She gladly shared her knowledge, thrilled to see the enthusiasm for her once controversial project spreading like wildfire. One day, as Karen was tending to her garden, she noticed a group of children gathered near the sidewalk, peering intently at the flowers. Curious, she approached them, only to discover they were part of a youth environmental club from a nearby school. "We heard about your garden and the eco project, and we wanted to come see it for ourselves," the group's leader, a young girl named Sophia, explained. "We're trying to start our own native plant garden at our school, and we were hoping you might be able to help us." Asterisk asterisk, Karen's heart swelled with joy asterisk asterisk. Not only had her efforts transformed her own neighborhood, but they were now inspiring the next generation to take action. Without hesitation, she invited the group in, sharing her knowledge and offering to provide them with seedlings and cuttings to get their own project started. As the children explored the garden, their faces lit up with wonder and excitement. They marveled at the diversity of the plants, the buzzing of the bees, and the flutter of butterflies. For Karen, it was a profound moment, a realization that her small act of defiance had rippled outward, touching the lives of others in ways she had never imagined. In the following weeks, the Youth Environmental Club became a regular fixture in the neighborhood, working closely with Karen and the HOA to expand the community's eco-initiatives. Residents eagerly joined in, donating time, resources, and enthusiasm to the cause. Asterisk asterisk, what had once been a lone battle had transformed into a collective movement asterisk asterisk, one that celebrated the beauty of nature and the power of community. Karen couldn't help but feel a deep sense of pride and gratitude, knowing that her determination had planted the seeds for a brighter, more sustainable future. As the seasons changed and the years passed, Karen's wildflower garden became a beloved centerpiece of the community. What had once been a source of friction and controversy had now blossomed into a vibrant, thriving hub of biodiversity and environmental education. Asterisk asterisk, the HOA, once the antagonist in Karen's story, had fully embraced the neighborhood's eco-transformation asterisk asterisk. They now actively promoted the benefits of native plantings, offering incentives and resources to encourage residents to replace their traditional lawns with sustainable gardens. The community even hosted an annual wildflower festival, drawing visitors from across the region to celebrate the colorful blooms and the importance of supporting local ecosystems. Karen's own garden had grown exponentially, a lush tapestry of flowers, grasses, and verdant foliage that attracted a dazzling array of pollinators and other wildlife. She delighted in watching the bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds that found refuge in her little oasis, and she took great pride in sharing her knowledge with anyone who expressed an interest. Asterisk asterisk, but Karen's impact extended far beyond her own property asterisk asterisk. She had become a driving force behind the creation of several community gardens, where residents could come together to cultivate their own native plantings and learn the art of sustainable gardening. These spaces not only provided food and habitat for local wildlife, but also fostered a sense of community and shared purpose among the neighbors. One of Karen's proudest moments came when the state's Department of Natural Resources recognized the neighborhood's efforts, bestowing it with a prestigious eco-community designation. The honor, complete with a commemorative plaque and a small grant, was a testament to the power of one person's determination to challenge the status quo and inspire change. Asterisk asterisk, as Karen stood in her garden, surrounded by the vibrant blooms and the buzzing of content pollinators, she couldn't help but reflect on how far she had come asterisk asterisk. What had once been a battle against the HOA had evolved into a community-wide transformation, one that celebrated the beauty and importance of the natural world. It's amazing what can happen when we're willing to step outside our comfort zones and fight for what we believe in, she mused, a contented smile spreading across her face. With each passing season, Karen's legacy continued to grow, inspiring others to follow in her footsteps and embrace the transformative power of eco-friendly living. As the years passed, Karen's wildflower garden became a shining beacon of hope and inspiration, not just for her local community, but for neighborhoods across the region. Her story, once a tale of defiance against a stifling HOA, had blossomed into a testament to the power of grassroots environmentalism and the transformative impact of one person's determination. Asterisk asterisk, throughout the neighborhood, the landscape had undergone a remarkable transformation asterisk asterisk. Vibrant gardens of native plants had replaced the once ubiquitous monoculture of manicured lawns, attracting a dazzling array of pollinators and other wildlife. The HOA, once the antagonist in Karen's story, had embraced the change, now actively promoting sustainable landscaping practices and providing resources to support homeowners in their eco-friendly endeavors. Beyond the boundaries of her own community, Karen's influence had rippled outward. She had become a sought-after speaker, sharing her story and her expertise with other neighborhoods, schools, and community organizations. Her message of environmental stewardship and the importance of supporting local biodiversity resonated with people from all walks of life, inspiring them to take action in their own backyards and beyond. The Wildflower Festival, an annual celebration that had started as a small neighborhood event, had grown into a regional attraction, drawing visitors from across the state to marvel at the colorful blooms and learn about the vital role of native plants in sustaining local ecosystems. The festival had become a platform for environmental education, featuring workshops, guest speakers, and hands-on activities that empowered attendees to become active stewards of the land. As Karen watched the festival unfold, surrounded by the vibrant flowers and the buzzing of content pollinators, she couldn't help but feel a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment. What had once been a lonely battle against the HOA had transformed into a community-wide movement, one that celebrated the beauty and importance of the natural world. It just goes to show what can happen when we're willing to stand up for what we believe in, she murmured, a contented smile spreading across her face. With each passing year, Karen's legacy continued to grow, inspiring others to follow in her footsteps and embrace the transformative power of eco-friendly living.